Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? I usually say I'm so used to saying hello, TikTok fans. I'm on the platform every single day. I'm sending 4 to 5 videos. I'm talking about the anatomy. I'm talking about meditation. You might want to check me out. Link is below. How I talk about all levels and how we get into a tree, how we get into our formation, how we get into our alignments, how we get into the gravity system. Meditation is not just meditation. Just think of yourself as a tree. You need water to grow your tree, right? So you have supplements and food. So it's understanding you have all the 4 food groups to draw anything through conditioning illustration to anything through reality of your conditions of your systems. Understand that how you can see your tree. Where do you want your tree to go? How far do you want it to grow? Right. So that is in position alone. So check me out on TikTok. Basically, it's about more of understanding it through our electrical light systems. Now it goes on so many programming positions coming into your first command, your commander-in-chief of all level systems, solar system, divisions, directions, dimensions, board activation light systems. Yesterday we're in the angelics. Today we're in the electrical light system. I traveled to 20 billion years into the future yesterday. I'm going through heavy downloads. So 20 billion years into the future is extremely high-rise to positions. I come onto so many levels of travel recognition lights of speed odometers, and it connects my electrical light system. So it's kind of like walking into a room and going through experimental things. You say that you're on a lab. Okay, you're on a crystalline, you're on a path, you're on existence, and you're seeing everything that's all connected to your electrical light system. So it's the program setting, it's electrical system, it's the programming system, it's everything light system. Like, it's understand your patterns, rotation systems, your gravity position, your thought recognitions, how we come into different wires. You go to a store and you buy new wires, right? Well, it's kind of like what I do, but I travel into far off distance. Right. So it's all about understanding 20 billion years into the future of what the earth looks like. Okay. So every time I travel through alignment, I come back with you guys and give you the information. 20 billion years into the future. Wow, that's fast. So I'm on the electrical light system right now, the program setting through the biological system. It activates everything through the cornerstones and all those conditions, your crystalline positions, because everybody's coming out of the carbon. And that's confusing to a lot of humanity because you understand the traction levels, you understand your electrical lights, electrical light system, the electrical light gamma operation positions, the electrical light chakra positions, everything through factoring levels, electricity, defense locations. Everything is electricity inside you. I mean, it's extremely powerful through connections. So I got waving cycles of thunder that's in my eye receptacle position right now. So think of yourself as kind of like thunder coming at you, and all you see is your electrical lights of your brain waves changing its pattern through its defense. So that's what's happening right now through calculation, right? Sometimes I can't even open my eyes. So it's just program setting. No, it's not ready to open up yet. So it's understanding how to change your filters and its relations to its system, to its gravitational pull. Your gravitation changes everything through your alignment of travel positions, right? Because your commander, first in command, travels so far into the future to get back the presence of humanity's system. Okay, so it's really understand the nerves, the electrical lights, everything through wire defense positions. You got between so many wires that are put into you, right, through its elevation. You're centralizing, you're decentralizing, you're activating, you're going through all levels of your heart receptacles. You're coming into the programming system. The portal activation to its thoughts and recognition of time positions, trying to understand what you're doing through calculation. So I had to drink more water, right, every single day. Give me back information through intelligence can be extremely overriding. Your centralized system has its travel positions or time positions. So 20 billion years into the future and coming back into the fifth dimensional system is like, whew, it's like wind spin. It's like a major kinetic energy headache. And that headache has to surface its position back into the location of the earth position. So it's understanding that you're changing vibration of time through your thoughts. Your thoughts are traveling to 20 billion years in the future, and you're coming back into the fifth dimensional system. You have to go back into the atmosphere. You have to go back into the environment. You have to go back into the body. Okay, because I just traveled my vibrational system to 20 billion years into the future. Now I'm set in positions where I went into 7020, right? I was set in that position, right? So it's trying to understand what's happening as I give back information system. So it's understanding our body system changes every time through dimensions. Now, humanity is just coming in from one dimension to the next. No humanity has been in a division of that direction to its location. Okay, we're coming into a new millennium. All right, we're coming out of the carbon and we're coming into the crystalline. Okay, so y'all started off the carbon. You understand your water. So you understand why we drink water, because we have water inside us. Right, so think of yourself as the tree. You need tree. Okay, you have the connection to the water, with the plasma and everything through the electrical system. You have to understand your supplements, your 4 food groups. Like I said, that's how you grow your tree. How important is it for you to be a temple of its connection to its body frame, to its position of line communication to all levels of your meridian? You're a meridian status. You're a meridian graph. You're a meridian location to a position, to line location to its division of shapes. You're a holographic illusion to its structure position of computer operator center position. You're activating everything through your connections. Now, your first in command, your commander in chief, is like the electrical lights. It's like in my eyes, right? It's going so fast, right? It's telling me, I got 5 generation computer setups, but I'm seeing platform divisions. I'm seeing circuitry lights. I'm seeing robots. I'm seeing calculations. I'm seeing so much wire positions on location systems. So it's understanding what I see through the anatomy of our biological structure position. Photons, protons, neutrons, electrons. That's when we start using these. Everybody's talking about it through the DNA pattern, but when you go to higher level dimensions, you have to understand more of yourself through the electrical light system. That's calculated and modified. But before I get started, thank all subscribers and viewers for watching my channel as we keep force rising, grand rising, coming out of the angelics. There's a Schumann resonance on connection. Basically, like with Sarah Hill, she talks about the Schumann resonance. You notice that there's a light interference that's taken over the Earth, the gravity position of the matrix position of the computer system. So basically, that's opened up its window for humanity. So communication with humanity is getting better and better each day. More people are waking up more and more each day, right? So we're waking up all the connections to the sleeping alliance. So imagine you're a sleeping lion. You're having a nice sleep, you're having a nice dream, and all of a sudden the gravity system shifts and it's electrical wire and it just and it wakes you up. It wakes you up. So that's the positions that's happening right now with humanity's system. So me traveling to 20 billion years and coming back to traction, it changed the Earth. Every time I travel to the future, it changes the Earth. It changes the position. It changes humanity position. It changes everything through location. Right? So like I said, if you're on the grounds or anything like that, and you're sleeping and all of a sudden something's trying to wake you up, it's Mother Guide saying, hey, wake up, knock, knock, I'm here, right? You're up, right? So now what? I'm in reality what I don't understand. People are going into so many communications. Now we're coming out of those connections. I don't prefer to like that level when we come into people see us as sheep. We're not sheep. Okay, this is not the shepherd. Okay. So truly understand we're all connected to our mystical side, but I get in metaphoric division location where you're waking up the sleeping alliance of the angelics, the Schumann resonance and its connection. So the new body framing through the electrical lights and everything through the gamma operation center positions open up everybody's tractions of filters, the filters through its operations positions. So we're coming into new calculation, new modification, new body system, new body activation through line signal to a chakra position. That's what's happening right now with humanity. So the electrical lights of the gravity position has changed. Everything through connections of the atmospheres have changed. Everything through dimensions of connection of the sun has changed. You better set location. Like I said, every time I travel farther and farther and I come back, everything changes to position. My body framing positions back into the fifth dimensional system, but it takes time because you're traveling so fast. So imagine that you're so high and you're coming back down. Right, so that's the position you have to change. You have to change rotation, you change your chakra location, change your communication, change your thought recognition time position, change your alignments to past, present, and future alignments, change your computer operator center positions, change your graphs, change your applications, change your astral records of thoughts, change your perception or unified connection, change your sentient view, change your energy, change your computers, change your higher self, or anything through its avatar position. Okay? But when you're traveling so fast, this is where it gets into connections, and you see everything through the platforms and everything outside. You look outside, everything's changed. And if things are changing, you're changing with inside. So your thoughts are changing, your belief is changing, your dreams are changing, your thoughts are changing, your activation, your lights, your colors, the way you see reality is changing, all through vibration. Your quantum physical levels and everything through computer operated center positions. So if you want to go through my healing now, I'll go through the practical levels. Anybody that's having problems through connections. Basically, there was a connection to a person, familiar friend of mine. Basically, Rose's sister. She had a friend that had a baby that's 2 years old and has leukemia. I healed her right away. It's understand the communications of the metric line system and everything through the umbilical cord. So basically, it's under when you close your eyes. I don't know if I told you this, but when I was going through transformation, I actually saw myself. I was in the womb of my mom. Okay. And it's amazing what you see through the placenta and what the baby does inside, how it eats the placenta, and why you have to understand these things. It's important how women are getting into being pregnant and what happens in that 9-month period, right? So I was actually inside my mom of the womb. Is really, really, really powerful. Okay. I had to go through that because there's a lot of things you have to understand inside the system. So it's kind of looking like it's all plasma and it's all liquid form. You're seeing cell generations. You're seeing yourself, in the fetal position, and you're moving like this, and you're looking around, and basically you can see the light, you can hear the voice, you can hear the vibration of your mom, which is really, really powerful stuff. And basically now I can heal anything in seconds now, just through one word, one vibration. That's how powerful I am, because I have balance with my 5-generation systems, 52 generation population circuit positions to all humanity through calculation. Traveling positions at 20 billion years in the future puts me back in the position of who I am through calculation. But the center position of my system changes everything through the sleeping lions. So it's waking up the electrical lights of the brainwave and patterns of humanity. So that's what's happening right now. Healing is not just healing. You have to heal everything through form of age. All right, from infant to toddler to child to teenager to adult. Okay, these are the levels you have to understand, and that's all done through electrical system. We're all connected to DNA through the biological system, but you have to understand the photons, protons, electrons, neutrons, electrons. The gametons. You have the synchronizing line, communication line signals. You got the activation core system. You got the calculation heart recognition positions. You got the body framing position, electrical light, solar connections. You got the electrical lights through positions of travel position, dimension core system, diamond positions. You got the shapes and altitudes activation through its holographic positions. You got the body through the electrical lights through their solar panel positions. This is where you understand through calculation. Everything's electrical lights. Right? Travel, farther, farther. And everything through rotation just changes everything through its connections. When you come back to the Earth position, a 5th dimensional system, it changes everything through the mind of its brainwave and positions. So the energy wave can change, your coloration, your activation, even your name changes in thought, reckoning time position. Everything changes. So the platitude division allows me to ground myself 20 billion years into the future. So, and I'm always put in position of chronological order. There's a reason why I don't just travel for, for fun or for recreation. I do it for work, because I calculate my thoughts through interlining, interconnecting, interlocking interconnections to all level systems. The thought recognition patterns is understanding your practice system of your heart, how you generate your system, how you generate your activation light system, how you program your chakra rotation positions. Okay. Now the team is into calculation 100 chakra positions. You guys know not in your applications of your lights, not into 114. You got to get into the waving cycle of this position of the stocks before you travel to higher positions. Okay. So when you understand more of your calculation and you understand more of your position of time travel, then you understand everything through this earth. So every time you travel, you go farther and farther into the earth, but you have to understand how to get back. You send one code and then you send another code to come back, right? So you go through one dimension, you come out of another dimension, close that dimension, then you come back to the same position. Time position gets complicated if you don't understand the reference or anything to its balanced positions, right? But I recommend you watch my TikTok videos. Very, very powerful. The formulating and everything through its connection. How we come into the tree, how we come into electrical lights. Now, the thing is, too, don't just see yourself as connection as blood cells and everything through liver, pancreas, and everything through the heart, and everything through the stomach line and all that. Just you have to go deeper, 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 deeper of who you are. Okay? So if I can actually see myself, okay, in my mother's womb, that's powerful, man. That's powerful alone, right? So I had to be in that position so I can understand how the concept of a baby is different from a toddler to a teenager to an adult. It's different DNA. It's a different bloodstream, okay? So it's kind of like this. When a baby is born, it has a filter of an eye. You don't actually see the resonance of the eye, the coloration, until it changes the connection to the atmosphere of the baby. So when the baby is exposed and it starts growing hair, right? Depending on where it is, the circle rotation center position, right? Because the gravity position opens up through the baby, and then the filter opens up, and then they see the DNA structure of the parents, either father or mother, and then you understand the connection, the underlying position of what really the color of the baby's eyes are. Okay, so that's understanding DNA. Okay, the DNA of the thoughts, the DNA of the alphabetical system of the child will grow. So it's all about the growth. It's all about the spurt. It's all about the activation. It's all about the baby seeing themselves for the very first time. Oh, I got fingers and toes. You know, I got thumbs. I got an eye receptor. And, you know, you got these little things that are dangling down and you're in the crib and the baby's looking up and it's trying to see this. It's trying to see different lights. It's seeing all level systems. Now, the angels and its relation system stays with the baby for 7 years, right? So basically, it's all about the baby coming out of its own coven. It's walking the steps for the very first time. Now, if you understand that, you understand why we have angels, okay, why they're protecting you for 7 years. There's a reason for that, okay, to make sure that the baby's well taken care of. Now, if there's malfunction of all that, that has to do with the practical law of the observation system of humanity to its calculation, the father and the mother. Mother's having problems with psychosis of her brain location or thought recognition time positions, or she's having problems with her family relations. Okay, that's how you can only come into disfigurements to that connection line system. So it comes into the chromosomes, okay, the XY. You know, it's all understanding through levels and how babies come out into that conformity of that system. Some come out, you know, less challenged, you know, autistic, but they're really extremely, like with Rain Man, you know, very, very powerful movie, right? It has all the conception of the mind and where it's set through the brain. The brain doesn't understand the north and the west or east and south of the hemisphere of its system. So it's trying to understand what's going on through calculation. Okay. Remember with that incident with Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman, where Dustin Hoffman didn't want to go on any plane because any plane that he went on would crash, right? And it gave Tom Cruise a real big headache. And he said, well, listen, we're going to get on that plane. Okay. So, and then he talks about each plane that he goes on has crashed, right? So he's not recognizing past, but he's extremely powerful when it comes into the connections of cards. So if he drops a bunch of toothpicks right away, he goes like this, and he knows do, and then he knows exactly how much is in the box. So it's all about memory, all right? So it's all about the hemispheres of your brain waves, because you have the connection of northwest, south, and east of travel through thought positions. Now, a lot of people don't understand the triangles of locations of the brainwave positions. Now, this is getting extremely complicated, but this is extremely powerful because we understand our anatomy. Our anatomy is everything through our body. Okay, it goes to everything through our holographic system. You can't travel to higher force connections of positions into the earth until you understand your anatomy of the electrical light system of you through calculation. You're synergizing your positions on line communication signals. So it's trying to understanding you remembering yourself as a baby or an infant or a toddler or a connection of a child or anything through a teenager or anything through an adult. It's the adolescence of you through thought, of time, position, of travel. Okay, so it's important that you understand more of yourself through your anatomy because it changes every single time. Remember, you're growing up and you're changing your thoughts. You're changing your time of thoughts. You're changing your positions of thoughts. You're changing your activation core of thoughts. You're changing the relation of your dietary system of thoughts. Okay, your behavioral system is changing every single time with its earth. So you're traveling through your clocks and dimensional time position through the structure of your face. Your face is everything through time. Your eyes are everything through sighting. Your ears are everything through its audio and everything through its voicing. Okay, so we have to get into those positions of time positions. Okay, you have to understand more of yourself, okay, of its anatomy because it changes because you're growing, right? Basically, I was going through a lot of things of fear when I was a kid. I want to share this with you. It's important that we understand how we get out of these cycles of fear. And mine was basically, what's happening with me. I thought, I was going to grow, and I was short. But then I realized, okay, this is all an illusion. This isn't fear. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm projecting. I'm projecting this. And then you project, and then you think about it, and you see it, and you hear it, and you taste it, and you touch it, and you feel it, and it just comes into your senses, and all of a sudden you just feel really, really bad about yourself. And you just, well, wait a minute, let's just recenter, reposition, refocus, realign, readjust my electrical lights, my everything time position of electrical system. So I said to myself, okay, you know what? This is not real. And it went away just with my thought. I recognized time position. So then I realized when I was going through my high school years and then I was going to higher levels of grades of schools, I started realizing that was just a fabrication. It was just like hot air, and I just popped it, and then it just went away. So everything in time changes. So as long as you understand that you come into these levels and knowing how to change your position of thoughts, you can get out of the fear cycle and prolong its system and move forward with its direction of time, position, space. So my positions at that time, I was worried. Worry causes stress. Stress causes anxiety. Okay, and it also causes death. Stress is number one. Stress is a strain on anything. It gives you headaches. It gives you migraines. And then you understand, why am I getting a headache? Why am I getting a migraine? What am I worrying about? Why is this happening to me? It's questions and questions and questions. You have to understand the interline communication, interlocking indivision, and you have to understand your interdimensional system of you through calculation before you go into the connections of yourself, from a baby to a toddler to anything in that connection to a child to a teenager to an adult. Okay, you have to understand your position of time positions because your anatomy changes every single time, which is really powerful. Okay, so like you could be egotistical, you could be stereotypical, you could be all levels of just being yourself but not sure. You have to understand the spiritual system of you because it's always been there. But your DNA changes every single time when you connect three thoughts, because it's all about you going into higher levels of what you want to do in your life. Your life will change through vibration. It changes vibration, it changes your body. Let's say you want to work out, you want to tone up. That's changing vibration of energy. Your body is reacting now. It's going to get sore. So you're getting pain in your body, and it's not accepting it, right? Because you're changing your thoughts. You have your thoughts and your body have to be balanced in between, and your chakra system has to understand its allocated position of its line communication, its right position. I said, I am going to change. So you actually see yourself 3 months ahead, what you're going to look like, right? That's an illustration. That's all about understanding how to use that illusion to that connection, to its illustration, to its reality and its position. With Jim Carrey, all of a sudden he was talking about, visualization is very powerful. He thought in his mind that he said, okay, I'm going to make $10 million, okay, in the next 5 years. So he wrote a check out, a blank check, put it in his pocket and hold it. Next thing you know, he's doing Dumb and Dumber, got $10 million. Visualization, realization. The thing is that you are given a chance to understand more of yourself through its operation in this universe. The universe will give something to you, right? Until you understand yourself through position of time, through thought and travel. So when Jim Carrey was going through this, right, he let it go. He just let it flow, and he let nature take its course, right? And then when he did Dumb and Dumber, he threw it away, right? Because he got his wish. So it's a wish. You're wishing for something to happen, but you don't know what's going to happen. And people get frustrated because the thing is, too, is that if you're in an operation system, let's say you're in a job and you don't like your job, well, find another way, but stay within that job, but a different performance, a different way of seeing things. Like stay in the same platform, but do something different. Okay? If you keep lying to yourself, if you keep getting angry with yourself, and keep stressing or anxiety, and why are you not bringing in money? You have to understand that you can stay in the same platform, but do something else. But you have to do something that you love. And a lot of people don't know that. Okay? It's because they don't understand themselves through their connections. It's all about remembering who you are. What were you like when you were 10 years old? What were you like when you were 5 years old? What were you like when you were a baby? Do you remember? A lot of people don't remember that. I said that too. So you have to understand your past, your present, and your future alignments. The future alignment is all about understanding how you use your connections to your external or anything through perception, your sensory perceptions and what you see. What do you want to see through visualization? Okay, same with the Jim Carrey. Think that. Write something down. Put it away. Put it in a book. Overlap it. Close it up. Lock and key. Throw it away. Throw it away in a way. Keep it, but don't do anything. Just let it go. A lot of people look at that and they say, whoa, 2 years has passed now. You look at it. You read it. Wow. Okay, you move on to the next. So you got something that you wanted, right? And the universe will provide that to you because you are focusing on yourself now. You're moving forward, right? So when you put something and you close it in a book and you leave it, it's now in the past, but it stays there because it's a wish, right? It's like, my daughter and I, we used to, when she was younger, we used to go to the park and we used to go pick 4-leaf clovers every single time, right? We were challenging each other how much we can pick up. 4-leaf clovers are hard to find, but they are good luck, it's like the rainbow. Oh, me like lucky charms. So if you believe in yourself more and more, everything in traction will come into your positions of time positions. So truly understanding that you were a baby, you were a child, you are a teenager, you are an adult. So you have to remember all these cycles of its alignments before you can understand more for yourself. If you have to go back to talk to your inner self, that's what you need to do, right? Because you can only get questions from yourself. You can't get questions from everybody else because they're dealing with their own problems right now. Okay, you deal with your own problems, and that is done through in. So you're now communicating through the inner system of you, which is helping you through the heart, which is helping you through the mind and everything through the soul. So the soul is now identifying you, the here and now of its presence. Okay, I don't go back 20 years later. Why do that when I know I'm in position I'm 52 now? So I stay in that position. I don't go back. If I want to reference, I'll go back and talk to my connections when I was younger, but I go back into position of center. A lot of people, basically, they don't like what they're doing. So change your mind thoughts, change your positions, mind over matter. It's very powerful, right? So basically, you're changing the roots of your tree. You're changing the wind direction. A time position of travel, right? But if you keep flaking out, all the leaves on your tree are gonna fall off and crumble and blow away. You don't want that. You want to keep your tree growing. That's the whole point. So it's all about the equinox. What is the equinox? Well, it's a place division, a dimensional time position where your tree can actually be into the north or the west, the east, or the south of its vessels. The vessel of you is understanding your communication dimensional or dimensional time positions. So where is your tree at? Where is it? Is it in dark relation or is it in the light? Okay, so put yourself in that position. Where do you want your tree to be? Right? So think of it on a beach, right? Think of it on an island. So you're protecting yourself every single time. Now, this is all metamorphically, but the metamorphosis of you is to really understand how you want to keep growing your tree with water, supplements, and the 4 food groups. That's the only way you can understand more of yourself. Okay? So that's what we are all connected to. Everybody has their own tree. Everybody has their own DNA. Everybody has their own thoughts and patterns through the biological system. Okay? But you have to get out of the physical realm. Okay? And that's what's happening right now through lights. Okay? The gravity positions. Me traveling 20 billion years and coming back is going to change the structural lights of all sleeping lions, waking them up through the gravity positions, time positions, where they are. Right? Put them in the presence. Putting them in the presence. And that's how powerful you are through first in command. So, Tina Galactica, how's it going? How you guys doing? You have any questions or comments? Basically, if anybody has any headaches or anything like that, it's extremely powerful. My conceptual system in the gravity position of the Earth is changing the vibrational system. So it's allocated to time position of travel. So it's trying to understand more singularity of line positions of you through human, the connections of the computers. So the Earth is trying to understand more of you through relation, right? Through its grounds. Everybody has to be connected with Mother Earth. And that's the separation. That's the confusion. You can't be separated from the Earth because you're on the Earth. A lot of people forget that. Right? They don't think about that. You know, they look at the moon. Oh, they look at the moon. Oh, that's great. And then they walk away. They don't appreciate what's around them or inside them. I mean, life is cherished. And that's where you have to start cherishing yourself more, loving yourself more. And like I said, you don't want to question your love. Love is everything through its activation. And then you understand more of your volumes of alpha, omega, micro, and the macro. Right? So healing is really important. You're healing your thoughts of time. You're healing your thoughts of space. You know, so if you want to go through my healing of that, if you're getting headaches or if you're getting wind spin cycle positions, if your body's off tracks and location, I can put you in an upgrading cycle position through the platform position. All right, so basically we start off with this, right? Modification, circle rotation, center positions, gravity position and locations. Okay, so we start off with this, right? Okay, now the center position of you is understanding your tree, where it comes from. Okay, you are a tree. See, you're the tree. You are a tree. And that's where it comes into answers to the pharaohs and meridians and Egyptians. Which starts off with a calculation. That's your base. That's your stump. And the center position here has rounds like this. And you just go round and round and round in a circle, right? So understand its relation. So every time you water your tree, it grows, right? Starting to grow from the grounds. See? And when it grows from the grounds, it comes into a base, right? Centralizes its system. It's not open through the chakra system yet through calculation, but you understand the circle rotation of the grounds. You understand more of your power centers through the heart and everything through your connection to the crown chakra, right? Getting into the crown chakra is the communication to the sun, okay? And then you have communications with the sun, okay? And then you get communications right away. We've been through this before. Communications with the moon, and you get communications with the sun. Remember, they're never too far. Right? It's always in line, location of you in position. It's always in position, right? And when it's in position, you have location positions of line communication of a line string down location to your plasma energy system of Orion's belt. Okay? So understand that through communication. It goes through line communications. It opens up your connections right away, right? Line signals down through channel operation center positions to the sun rotation center position. Goes into the gravity positions, opens up all level connections, right? So when it does that, there's different reading. Okay, so it's understanding what relation to a color are you connecting through thoughts of travel positions. So let's say you want to travel to 2950, right? 2,950. Okay, so basically the moon has to stand the 2, the moon has to stand the 9, has to stand the 5, and has to stand its location through its operation. Now, understand the sun has to understand communications of the 2, the sun has to understand the communications of 9, and the sun has to understand the communication of 5, and the sun has to understand the communication operation. So the moon and the sun have to understand everything through your travel positions, the time positions of past, present, and future. Where are you traveling to? And that's where it's connecting to your formulas, okay, through its connection. Now you come into the cycle rotation of the box location position equals line division locations, circle rotation center positions. Now let's understand wire location positions into 4 waving cycle positions, cross reference position, line division location down, point division up, point division cross reference, its position. Now triangles locations, you come into the galaxy locations, ground formation, line signals, volumes on levels, locations equals box. Okay, now the box comes to calculation. Now we get a V sector unit inside them. Connections. It's getting complicated, right? So that equals, okay, 0 gravity slash gravity. Okay, so it's 0 gravity because you're traveling to 2,000. Okay, anything behind that connection. So it's understanding your relation systems or anything to acceleration connections. But if you're traveling to that position of 2,950, you have to truly understand the moon rotation programs and everything the sun's rotation system through its radiation cycle, everything the gravity, everything the powers, and everything the atmospheric positions. To understand its communication signals, you set up a plasma to its activation of its connection through 0 gravity position. Okay? All right? So this is this. This is the formula. Okay? So you guys have to truly understand how to travel through your thoughts of plasmas and everything E equals mc squares. We're not into that. We're into the mass calculation of its velocity. We have to understand a more acceleration of time through thoughts. So it gets complicated, right? So when you're traveling through time, it's really powerful. We're doing a test review and evaluations of back phasing system, but calculated. Tina basically set up 3 to 4 minutes of travel, which is really fascinating. Okay. But the thing is, too, do you understand what you're doing? That's what you got to get across. Just because you say something doesn't mean you know what you're doing. You have to understand everything, what you're saying. Okay. So I'm connecting my gravity positions. I'm putting everything through circle rotation. Open up my circle rotation center to its position. The power centers are going through the gravity locations to its chakra positions. Now I'm communicating to the moon. Now I'm communicating to the sun, and the sun through its rotation is centering operation center positions to the circling location of its Jupiter. Now Jupiter is in ratio connection. It's connected to its Saturn position of location position. It's changing its computer operation center location systems. Now you have to truly understand how I communicate 5 generations of computers to the simulation of its creations into the brainwave as cloud positions. Now it's opening up cycle rotation centers, which is opening up everything through the Earth rotation, centering locations to my formula of its connection, right? So you have to understand, it's not just saying, it's also doing, right? So it's S/doing. Know what you're doing, okay? Say what you're doing, know what you're doing, okay? Say, know, and do. Okay? Say, know, and do. Okay? You have to say what you mean, know what you're doing, okay, and everything, right? It's all one. So it's knowing, saying, and doing, right? So it modifies and calculates everything through your thought and travel position, so you can travel to anywhere through calculation. 2 positions of 2,950. So 2,000 years, 950. But what does it mean? The program setting. The sun already stands the numbers. It understands time positions through your digitals. But why do you want to travel? Okay? You have to understand your connections and what's happening. So you're setting program systems. I want to travel to the sector levels of 2, to the calculations of 9, okay, to its modifications of 5, to its circle rotation center of its operations system. So you understand the calculation of travel. So the sun goes in. It's already in your body system through its allocated to its universe position. It's always inside you. So it's going through its calculation. It's going through its circle rotation center. It's going through its activation through your holographic travel positions. It's setting up your core center into your gravity locations to your power in the atmosphere position. Now the moon has to understand its relation to its program setting. So the program sets up the year of digital frame. The sun sets up its activation through its lights through your plasma, right? It sets up your E fields. It sets up your energy fields. You're all connected to that, right, through calculation. Now let's go into that location. Show you exactly what it is through positions. I'm just going to go through a back phrasing position here, but show you here. All right. So that tracking location, let's just go into force winding cycle. So this is you through calculation. You're in the center position of you. Okay, this is you in the center. That's you in the center. That's your protection. That's your atmospheres. So you're ground for everything through your connections. You start off with that, right? And you go into connections, right? Into the powers, and you come into the atmospheric position. Okay. Now you're just going to the gravity power in the atmosphere. You're not opening on anything calculation. Once you go into center lines communications, you're going through transmitting, and then you're going into receiving. So you're transmitting out and you're receiving in. Okay. So when you're doing that, you're centering positions to your activation circle of its position. Okay, so when it's going through that, it connects right away to the voice grid patterns and its grid formation system. The line communicates your digital framing positions through calculation, right? Synergize your connections. Now it's coming into the connections of 3, 6, and 9 through its position, comes into the 12 position, comes into the circle rotation back into 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in that position, right? So you understand that. This comes up to a higher level system. This comes up to a higher level system. Remember saying that comes up, and everything through the tree format comes into location, right? So this is your tree growing through its connection, right? So when your tree grows, it comes into its connection of its forming system, calculation. It opens up everything through your branches of its position because you're watering every single day through calculation, right? And when you come into that, you come into the leaves of its position. The leaves are everything through direction. You can change your conditions, but it's important that you keep your leaves on, right? Because it's intelligence of information that you have to understand. So it's soul recognizing you through your tree, through its heart recognition of time position. Okay? So once that understands, it gets better calculation, goes into center position, back into direction location, changes the coloration system. So your tree will change color as the leaves will change color. It's really powerful when you come into these times. Right, so let's say we got 4 generation cycles of position. Now your rainbow activation light system and your leaves are changing each color position, so time position of travel through your thoughts. Okay, it comes into this. All right. So it only comes into this position. If you high rise your body activation through your rainbow activation system, when I travel through time positions, the leaves are all different colors of 4 seasons. So I'm traveling through time positions. So basically, in reality system, they say when you're in space and you're going extremely fast, okay, let's say with Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, where basically every hour of the hour, okay, it's 7 years on Earth. That's just passed, right? Which is true. But the physical system has to truly leave the atmospheric position. But it's next to impossible because you have to understand when you're in space-time positions, you have to change your particle time of your molecule structure of light. Okay, so you can't travel through the physical system. It's next to impossible. It has to be through the higher self. It has to be through the spirit system. Okay, because the universe doesn't understand the physical system. It only stands your higher self. It doesn't understand anything else. It only stands electricity, anything through that calculation, energy, frequency, vibration, harmonics. That's all it understands in shapes and holographic through line communication of you and its chakra system. That's all it understands through body. It doesn't understand the physical system. And people are having trouble why they can't get things in manifestation. But once you understand your communication, your travels, or your tree will start changing coloration, right? Through travel position, time positions. And this is where comes beauty into its connection. All right? So that's what you want to do. How you go through travel, through colors and lights and activation of thoughts, your tree will start changing colors into weather. So you understand more of yourself. So when you look up, you actually see your tree growing. That's the galaxy. Right? And everything through the branches and everything through the connections, line systems. So you're creating things. So it's like a Christmas tree, you know, you're putting streamers and you're putting, connections of levels of things on a tree. You know, you got your lights on a tree, you know. So if you understand you're all connected to a tree, then you understand why you have water inside you. Wow. Why do we eat? You're growing your tree through your 4 supplements. Okay. Your 4 activation cycles and your 4 activated systems is position. 5 within the activation. Okay. 6 within the core. 7 within its relation. So your position allows you to connect to the 7 lines of your chakra system. 8th, right? Transmission light, okay, is the eye of the lamp. That's the connection. So imagine you are the eye of the lamp, okay, and the lamp goes down, and then everything here is the chakra, right? But the transmission light is the 3rd eye, okay? It's not a chakra, it's a 3rd eye. Okay, so let's not get that confused. That's what holds the grounds. That's what holds the powers and the atmospheres of position to your higher self position. That's what holds the alignment through your spine, cortex, or anything through its placebo of its thoughts, of time, through its matrix locations. All right? But it's amazing how we come into the higher formation of a tree through travel of its rainbow activation system, through time position. All right? So, complicated, isn't it? Complicated is good. Now, that's why I platform on TikTok, because it's a different ratio, a different vocabulary, and then we have a minute to really discuss things until we get more volumes of connections. Oh, there's solar flare genetic patterns there. See that? You want like that. So you understand what's going on with communication. Everything that I do is interference. Okay, so it's understanding you're going, and then you could change it. You're changing your hand, you're changing your weather. So you're changing your fire, earth, water, and air, right? So you see the connections of the moon, you see the connection of the sun, you see the connection of the weather, right? And how it fluctuates patterns through its ratio. Okay, the ratio, longitude and latitude of you, how you can change weather of connection, right? So everybody gets into the connections of their mantras or their channel positions or any of that position where they go like this. Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing, right? What am I doing, right? It's all about healing. It's all about healing. Okay. So as I'm doing this, it's connected through line signals to the atmosphere of structures through heat signatures of its atmospheric position. The changing line communications through its signals and everything through its finger points is connecting to its barcode position, line communication, tracking, and location systems. See? You can draw anything through shape. See that? There's an angel. See the angel? See, that's a shadow. There's the head. There's an angel. We can change shifts. Changing shift, changing time positions of shifts. So understanding how to use, there's a diamond. See the diamond? See the diamond in the center? So it's truly understand how you use your shapes in communication travel, because you're connecting to coloration patterns through your weathers, and you're detecting everything through its quantum physics. The quantum levels, the metric levels, quantum mechanics of yourself, I-recept, local line system, you're coming into more calculations of GOD. But do you understand what you're saying and doing? That's the positions you guys have to come into before you travel, right? So you have to really understand your ratios and your metric levels and your travel positions from becoming an infant to a child to a teenager to an adult. Okay, so you really, really have to understand your past. Because when you understand your past more, you understand more of your presence. Because you're not missing out, right? So you got to go back. So it's like going back in time and taking things off the shelf, right? And bring it into the present. What will happen? That will change the past, right? Because you went into the past, but you're bringing something from the past to the present. That's going to change the present to its future. So it's understanding your alignment of your thought at travel position of time position. Okay. My dietary system is changing even more. If I eat bad, my body lets me know. There you go. That's exactly what it is. Perfect example. We basically, in Mexico, it's called hamburguesa. Hamburguesa means burger. So my Secret Flame gave me a burger that she bought at a restaurant. So I'm learning more Espanol. I'm trying to learn as I go here. But anyway, I noticed that it was off. The vibrations were off, and it didn't taste well because it wasn't well cooked. But you understand everything through connection comes from, salmonella, comes from E. coli or anything in that division. E. coli, it could be, something connected to mold. See, when we go through ourselves through the spiritual system, that's how we come into more vibration. That protects us through its connection. So you understand, the meat's no good, so I'm not going to eat it. So your higher self is saying, no, don't take it. Right? So I took a couple bites. I went like this. I scanned it. Nope, can't eat it. Right? Today I feel great. So basically, I bought a couple of pizzas in return because the pizza was good. It was well cooked. And that's what we're coming into. You want to come in more of yourself through your anatomy. You want to come more into your helping system, okay, to all your connections of attractions. You want to put your positions knowing what you have in front of you is good or not good, okay, or save it for later. It's all about understanding more of yourself, okay, and what you eat. That's the importance you have to get across, because that's why people pass away. That's why people die, is because they don't know what's in their food. They don't know what's in the medication, so they take it anyway, right? You take an aspirin. Oh, wait a minute. What did you have before that? Did you have a glass of wine? Did you have some beer? You have to be cautious, and that's another thing humanity is, and they're not cautious in what they eat and what they drink. And it multiplies, guys. It's a mutation. So you're going into the chromosomes of yourself, right? So you got to get into the thought process, and that's where you come into the awareness. Humanity hasn't been aware for decades. They're separated just with medication alone, right? Like you're not going to take anything through like a tranquilizer and automatically drink some alcohol. You're going to go blitz. That's just common sense, right? I don't know if you know about this, but I mean, it was just a comedy, but I love John Ritter and Three's Company. Guy was fantastic. He's a master in dominations of stunts, the way he falls. He's an incredible actor, really was. And I found that there's one particular episode where he was afraid of flying. So basically, it all started out with, okay, so Larry comes in, right? His friend. I said, well, okay, so we'll put you on a chair, gets on a chair, and it starts going like this, right? And then it goes, ooh, right? It's like, well, you know what? You just, you're in 30,000 miles in the air now. And then Jack Tripper gets off and goes, right back onto the couch, right? He's like, no, you're not getting me back on that. So he was scared of flights, right? It's fear. So, and it's all in the mind too. But anyway, so he took 2 tranquilizers that Terry gave to him, the nurse, and he decided to make things more smoother, he started to take alcohol on top of that. And then he started to go out of his mind and started dancing and, you know, doing all these things. So you're changing your mind, you're changing your thought, you're changing electricity, you're changing your pattern, you're changing your vortexing out of the mind. Okay. So when you're vortexing out of the mind and you're in the blitz, you know, you got a mutation of tranquilizer and you got your connections of alcohol, it comes together, right? And sometimes it's you don't know what reality you're in, and that's what happens. So you're going into a connection of yourself into another self, which is another personality trait, your Schumann resonance, your vibration, your human emotions. Your thoughts are changing through time positions when you go through these things through your dietary system. So it's very important, okay, to be aware what you take. Think about it first before you do it, because you're going to have a reaction regardless of what you do. Okay, and humanity has to come back more of their communication within themselves and be aware of these things. That's the abundance. That's the surrender. So you surrender to what you want through manifestation. You keep the abundance of who you are through calculation, and your center positions, right, through modification through your chakra system of communication. That's where you guys got to put your positions. Okay, but always find yourself being aware before you do things. Okay, because you're going to have reactions no matter what. Okay, and you're making choices, you're making decisions, and it's totally up to you and what you decide what to do. Okay, because your mind might say something, your brain might say something else, and your heart might say something else, and your soul doesn't identify with anything what you're doing, so it takes it anyway. So you took something with not even thinking, right? So, and sometimes it happens when you're really tired, you know. And you know, the thing is too, I never liked taking aspirin. You know, it never was really, you know, sometimes it went away, but then it came back. It came back. So wouldn't it be easier to actually understand your body, your anatomy of your body, how you can take things out of your body through vibration, knowing how you have to basically, to take things out, okay, you have to understand your thoughts. Okay, so basically, space and time works through alignment of your past, present, and future. That's what comes in Orion's belt. So the Orion belt has to understand what you're doing through mutation. Okay, you can't go forward in time. You have to go in the past. I said that before. To change anything through the body, you have to understand the past trauma of the person, of their thoughts, because it's the thoughts that's in the soul. So you take the things away from the soul, and the soul goes, oh, I feel better, right? And then you feel wonderful. And then you start aligning with yourself. And then you start, wow, this is great. So you start to realize you are a tree. You start to realize, whoa, I understand my hand now. It's electronic. You know, it's connected to interference. It's connected to interlocking, interlacing. I understand the magnetic force of myself. I understand the electricity of myself. I understand how I can create things with myself. All right. When I started off, I started doing it's like an energy ball through connections, right? It formulates on all levels of energy force recognition, light systems, right? And then you just throw it. Poof, you guys feel it, right? So it's all energy. We're all connected to its energy. But imagine how we can use our energy through patterns and anything through its connection, and how we can heal anything through calculation, through its coloration. Right? But you have to understand the thoughts of people through the translation of light. Transformation light of their dimensions, thought recognition of time positions, and where they are. Okay? Because they can be set in location of the past, and you're trying to heal them in the present. You can't do that. You have to go to the past of where they are. They're trapped. How do I get them out of the matrix? Okay? So a perfect example, right? And, you know, that's why I want to get you guys into 114. So you guys can get into healing, right? Heal yourself before you heal others. But traveling is not just traveling, it's everything's traveling. So basically, this is a connection, right? Now we got circle rotation center positions, rotation cycle positions. Okay, now it's connected to its round location. Okay, of 3, 6, and 9. No, it's extremely complicated stuff, but we'll start off with this position. Okay, so it's understanding what to do through cube. You see everything through the cube. You see everything through the connection activation system. Your activation system understands 3, 6, 9 through position. So 3 is the activation. Okay, 6 is its position, and everything through 9 is its location. So you take that triangle position, Okay, or if you're in a diamond core, I'm in a diamond core position, right? So you understand the past reference of its alignment, which is line signal. So you got here the center position, you got the past, and you got the future. So these are the alignments, okay? These are the alignments. So you understand this relation of its thoughts. So basically, if you're trying to heal somebody in the presence, but you don't understand their mind thoughts, it's going to overload their system, activate the core system, and create a dark anomaly position to an activation light through its vibrational system. So you just change the past reference to its thoughts, to its presence positions, and you put a cyst of rotation vibration in the center position location, right? All thinking that you just healed that person in the past. See, you have to understand everything through the past, the present, and the future alignment of the person before you heal them through vibration. Okay, because they could be caught in the future, they could be caught in the past through thoughts. You don't know that person from Adam until you understand their soul of travel. You have to understand the travel of them through thoughts of past, present, and future, because they're trapped in the past, they could be trapped in the present, or they could be trapped in the future. If they're trapped in the future, that's extremely hard to get out of, right? Because their thoughts are in the future. They keep talking about the future, right? But they know they're in the present, they just can't understand that. For example, Dr. Phil, there was this kid, I don't know if you know, but he thought basically in 2050, he thought he was a cyborg. He started talking like a cyborg. And then he kept on saying, we. He talked about, well, I traveled to 2050, and every single day I take so much water. He drinks so much water. And says, basically, he doesn't do anything else besides his mind system is conceptual of a thought, which is its future relation, which means that his thought of time position is not on the earth position. It's in the future position. So you got to take him out of the future alignment and put him back into the present position. But you have to understand his past position. The past is everything through its healing. That's the trauma. Doesn't matter where you are through calculation. But if you don't understand the positions of alignments, you can't heal anybody through DNA of their past, present, and future until you understand where they are through the connection of travel, position of thoughts. Okay, because they're all connected to the shapes. They're all connected to alignment. They're all connected to time. Okay, so information. You got one box, all negative. You got one box in the past, right? Somebody comes along, a healer. I healed you. What did you do? Well, you didn't heal the box in the past. You just healed the present, but what did you do? You're going to get a bad rotation center to position because you didn't heal the past of its box. So it's taking everything out of the box and ripping it up or burning it, right? So when you do these things, it changes the conception of its thought and puts you in the presence of its earth so you can have a future, okay? But it's all about understanding electrical lights and everything through the body, the chakra system. The chakra system could have no allocated to position. Line communications, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 chakra rotations, 8 within the system, okay? This is where it comes into the connection, okay, of the serpent. Right, this is the serpent, this is you, right? Now it goes into the center position. This is where it comes into Jacob's ladder. Okay, so it wraps around the core system like this. Okay, so that's what the snake does, right? That's what it does when you wake up. So the snake, right, it's his job or her job is basically to keep bringing you down off the connections of its tree. This is your tree, right? So the snake keeps going around like this, right? Try to keep pulling you down through your thoughts of time position. So he keeps putting you back, or she, in the past. So it's understanding how to get rid of the serpent location position, the center locations, of the gravity positions, of the center positions, and everything the adversary positions. So when you get rid of that through calculation, you take it out of its equation, and it travels back into its balance location of its earth. Okay? So, complicated, isn't it? It's complicated. Complicated! But that's what happens when you wake up, right? So, it's truly understanding getting to the heavens above. It's not about understanding how to get to my lights, how to get to my angels, how to get to my wings, how to get to my archangel. Now that's all connected to a higher connection of view, of thought, of time travel, of position through its confidence. So every time you're traveling, right, the snake will disappear from the gravity to the power of the atmosphere, and it'll take it out of its equation and it'll disappear. Once it disappears, now you can go into higher levels to your higher formation of a tree format and grow it out to its position. Okay? So you'll no longer be dealing with the snake anymore. Okay? To its relation. Okay? So think of it this way. The snake itself, okay, now Starseed has a serpent of light. That's a totally different observation. That's the mystical side of her. That's extremely powerful. She's in light. So attraction positions, understand everybody starts off with the snake. So think of the snake as the matrix. Think of the snake as intelligence. Think of the snake going around you and trying to keep you down, trying to keep you down. Doesn't want you to go up the ladder. Doesn't want you to go up the conscious levels of yourself, right? It doesn't want you to high rise your tree, right? So, and it's all connected to you. You can call it anything you want. You can call it ego. You can call it anything through plasma. You can call it through, you travel through the positions, and every time you go through a thought, it takes you back into time position, back into the matrix, every single time, because you don't have the abundance. Okay, you're not thought recognizing your time positions of actions. You're going to your actions and reactions of time positions just through your thoughts. Okay, so it's very important that you put yourself always in the connections of the present position of realm location of time position. Okay, always in the center. Okay, always find your way back to the center. So when you find your back to the center, you understand yourself. So really get into yourself and travel through your thoughts. Get into the healing of yourself, of what you can do and what you can't do. Okay, of time, right? So when you come out of that, you come into security line defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I travel to 15 dimensions because I understand my relation of my diamond core position, of time position of travel through its presence of a certain position. Okay? So it's all connection with balance, guys. So you come into this, right? So when you have the connections of balance through your coloration, you understand more of the sun, the moon, and anything that you create through the mind system. Okay? It's not in your position until you understand your alignments of past, present, and future of your thoughts. Your thoughts always have to be going forward. Okay? Or you're not going to understand anything through its atmosphere, hemisphere, or stratospheres, or bioatmosphere, biohemisphere, or biostratosphere, or anything through the Brownian atmosphere. Okay? Now, this is where you guys have to truly understand yourself more. Okay? What you're saying or doing are two different things. You're saying what you mean, or you're saying what you don't mean. So you have to put yourself in that position. You have to know what you're saying. You have to know what you're doing through your intelligence. Right? So if you're traveling through position and you're setting up wrong coordinates, the sun is not going to understand you through its intelligence. If you're trying to set up a program, but you understand your digital frame to its moon of its system, it's not going to understand your program. That's their intelligence. Right? So it's all about you understanding more of your tree. Okay? So, and then you come into your formulas. And it disappears because it's in the simulation. Look how powerful my illumination is. Look how powerful. Because I have balance of travel positions. I could draw something out, you wouldn't know what it is. Right? That's confusing alone. That's confusing. Right? So basically, when you go into higher locations, it's hard for you to understand. You see things through perception. Right? So this is illumination. Right? Now I'm going to draw something through calculation. Right? I've done this before. Right? Now we'll go through the practical levels. Right? Now I'm going to draw something. It's a square, right? It's allowing you to see it, but it's in and out. It's your connection, right? Travel positions. But truly understanding what you're seeing through perception is everything through location, right? If it was on a different coloration system, it would change its position of time position and travel positions. So go through this, go through purple. Can't really see it now, can you? Right, because it's a lighter color. Black is everything through rotation of a realm, through dimension, right? Black hole, dark matter. Black is space, is everything through connection. But your line signaling channel, so box frequency level, rectangle location, 2-point division location. You take it out of its equation, right? But if it's a different coloration, it disappears out of its position, time position. Now there's cloud interference right now. The sun is blocked. So remember, it's everything in the mind that you see through its connection. So I communicate through the inside system, not the outside. The outside is the activation of healing. The inside is everything through communication. Communicate inside, activate outside. Same with your travel, your thoughts. Okay, so know what you're doing through calculation of travel positions, of time positions. If you don't, it disappears in front of your eyes, that perception, right? So it's forgetting what you drew. Okay, oh, I just drew something, but I don't know what it means. So if you're waking up and you draw something out, you don't know what it is, you're having problems already. So you're having problems with time, you're having problems with space, you're having problems with shapes, you have problems with visualization, and you're having problems with your perception through your thoughts and everything through intelligence, through your chakra system. Right? So that's why I keep giving you illustrations, diagram, programs. It's important you guys understand this. Right? You're drawing what you want to draw through travel time, but it's all connected to your dreams. Right? So if you get into a dream and you don't understand it, okay, through your E equals MC / velocities, you have to understand your DNAs of thoughts. You have to understand your time position of thoughts. You have to understand your electrical lights of atoms of thoughts, molecular structure of thoughts of lights. It's all connected through travel of time. Okay? Thoughts. Of time. Okay? Thoughts of time. And it travels. It's gone because it's in the simulation. Because I put my thoughts into further distance. That's why you can't see it until you see it. Right? But in relation, there's an oscillating cycle through cloud interference. It's just passing through the sun right now. Right? So the sun's telling me exactly what's traveling through my thoughts of time position. Right? So it just modifies and integrates, interlining to synchronizing system in that position. So when you go into thoughts of time, you come into space of location. Space of location. It's gone because it's in the simulation, right? So that's where we have to understand everything that we say to ourselves. We have to know what we're doing with our thoughts. A lot of people don't know what they're saying, and they say, whoa, what did I just say? Does that make any sense? If it doesn't make any sense to you, you're not traveling in the right position of time through space of its location. Okay? So it's really important to understand what you guys are doing through calculation. You can't integrate anything through cycles or anything through your connection of your intelligence until you understand everything through its say, know, and doing. All right? So but it's all a learning process. You guys are getting better and better. You know, I just see your channel positions and what's off and what's not off, what has to be fixed through its program positions or anything, electrical lights. But it's all about understanding your anatomy of your positions of time position, of space and its location. Okay? So just imagine how much water I have to drink before I travel. Right? So, and if you don't drink water, what happens? It dries up. So you're drying up your tree. Right? And in time, your tree is going to timber. So don't do that. Bring yourself forward. Let the tree grow. Bring out the essence of its colors. Right? So, but like I said, you have any questions or comments, you can let me know. Okay, it's a very, very powerful class. I can help you out with your healing if you understand more of your thoughts. Understanding your thoughts and knowing and saying and doing are so many different things. So it's understanding, calculating to put your thoughts in position, a present position to future. So when you connect to your thoughts, it's in its presence. But when you finish your thoughts of time, it's in its future. So it's understanding when you have a sentence, okay? So it's knowing how to use your sentence in the alphabetical system so the earth understands what you're doing through travel positions, through the sun, and everything through the moon. It's setting your program through the chakra of its communication to its intelligence so you understand your gravities, your power, and your absolute positions of time through its thoughts, okay, and everything through space and its location, right? So when you finish that sentence, you're traveling through the right time position, through the right space location, right, to its right activation of its position. Okay, so, and that's where you don't want to get confused, because a lot of people get confused with their thoughts. They say something, but then they forget. If you forget, you're in dark matter. You just lost transition of time. So you have to understand how you are connected to travel of time through space and everything through its operation of its universe. Okay, so every single time you change your thoughts, you're traveling through vortex. Anything that you say, you're vortexing. It changes right away. Okay. So when you change your thoughts, you change your time position of travel, a space location. Okay. I know it's complicated. It's extremely complicated. But like I said, saying, doing, and knowing. You're saying something, you're doing something, and you're knowing how to do it. So it's kind of like the connections with why am I doing this? When is it going to happen? Why is it here? Who? What? Okay? Where? And how? It connects in all ways and forms of you. So you use that through your thoughts of time travel disposition. That's why we have those through calculation. Right? You have to know all those position time positions because it's all connected to your holographic of this time connection. So go into that connection. All right. So we go into where. We go into why. We go into who. We go into when. We go into what. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We go into how. So where am I going? Why am I here? Who am I going to? When is this going to happen? What am I saying? How is this done? Right? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? There it is there. And it travels because it's all in one line signal. Right? So you start off with all this. This is all connected to your thoughts. Every single time you wake up, you're going through the where, why, who, when, what, and how. Okay, so you have to understand how to travel through the where of your thoughts, how you travel through the why of your thoughts, travel how with the who, travel when and what and how. It's confusing, isn't it? And everything that's center position comes into 7 center locations. So you got 1 center, 2 center, 3 center, 4 center, 500, 6 center. So you put that line communication, comes into its box location, center positions location. Center positions is cross reference, comes into line communication signal, activates everything through the 7 position. It's allocated position. Okay, that's the balance of rotation. Okay, so it's getting communications with where, why, who, when, what, and how. Okay, so, and this is what you do through travel, through thoughts, time, position, space, through its location. All right. So, how's everybody doing with that? Because you have to use more of your connection through your calculations of your thoughts at time. And everything that I said there with all that is connected to a question. So you're questioning your life every single day until you understand everything through balance. Okay? Thoughts of time and space of location. These are the things you have to understand, right? Because you can't get into your modules, you can't get into your simulation, you can't get into your tracker system of intelligence until you understand yourself, of all questions within yourself. Okay? Because it's all, your whole life is a big question. And nobody can answer that, only you inside. Okay? Because everything has its relation of time. Okay? So it can be learned. It's a process of learning. It's adaptation of circles, center positions, locations. But everything is about recentering yourself through thought. If you say something but you didn't want to say it, bring it back to traction and reconnect the code reference to its code frequency and bring it back to its condition of its location. Right? Time of its thought and space of its location. All right? So I'm going to let you guys go with that. You guys have a fantastic Saturday, morning, afternoon, or night, where you are through your time zones. We'll go into more connections of, I want to get more into the birthing of the tree, really get into your connections of your dietaries and how you can get into more of your healing, just where there's center position of you. But if you want to go through the platform, if you're getting high-rise headaches or anything through migraines or anything through that, your perception is changing, rotation cycles are off, your chakra systems are off through calculation, come to me. I'll set up a new platform for you through the upgrading cycles, right? Through my PayPal. All right. So love you guys very much. You guys have a fantastic day. Right? Adios.